Hello, everyone. It's that time of year again where we need to collect our data for the semester so that we can review our outcomes. So this quick video will show you how to do that and share that information. First of all, use Google Chrome. It really is the easiest and best thing to use for this purpose. The other thing that you want to do, and I'll explain this later why, is up in this upper right-hand corner where you have the three dots, go ahead and choose down to 80% for the zoom. You can use the minus or plus arrows to do that. We're going to need to have the screen a little bit smaller for some of the data that we need to collect, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So again, use Google Chrome and reduce the size, zoom into it to 80%. That being said, let's go ahead and save your grades first. So choose grades. And once that opens, you will need to be on the Enter Grades screen. You might have it defaulted to Manage Grades, but you will need to choose Enter Grades to get these options. So you want to choose Export Grades. You want to choose both for the key field, points grade for the grade values. Then in the actual items themselves, only select the options that have DO afterwards. These are the assignments that we're using to review the outcomes. We don't need all of the assignments, your attendance, your quizzes, your personal assignments. We only need the ones that we're reviewing for departmental outcomes. So please make sure that you've only checked off the particular ones that have DO after their names. Once you have that selected, go ahead and choose Export to Excel. You'll get this dialog box. When it's ready, you'll just hit Download. And you now have to choose somewhere that you want to save this. So here's our information with the assignments and the students and such. You choose File, Save As, and I created for myself, I created on my desktop a folder called Chrissy's Fall 2019 Data. So you click on that. If you need to create one, there's an option right here where it says New Folder. You can name it whatever you want. And that way you can put all of the files we talk about today in one folder. So what you'll do is, we don't need Managing Your Success. We know the name of the class, but we don't know it's yours. So you want to put your last name. So Leonard, section 119, the only thing you have to change. Hit save, it's now saved in that folder. You've now saved your grades. So we can go ahead and close Excel. We can close that dialog box. We are now done with saving our grades. But now we need to save the rubrics for each of the assignments. So what you're going to do is go to Course Administration, and depending how you have your settings, you might have it set up by category. I have mine set up by name, so it's in alphabetical order so I can find things easier. I just choose right on Rubrics. And our rubrics are the ones that have 2.0 afterwards. There are other ones that are shared throughout the college, for example, this writing one. We do have a discussion rubric, but we don't have required discussions as a part of our departmental outcomes, so you don't need to use that. I'm going to show you the example of the What Have I Learned so I can explain why I asked you earlier to make it only 80%. So choose the down arrow and View Statistics. It'll bring you to this basic screen. You'll choose Program Outcome Activities. And you'll see that we have this basic screen here. We still need to dig in a little bit deeper. So we go to Actions. And this is where we'll see the overall criteria and the actual individual criteria for this assignment. So we want to save this particular page because we want the overall criteria. So what we're going to do is up here again at those three dots, you're going to choose Print. It'll come up with that screen, and you're going to choose Save as PDF. It might automatically be defaulted to the RICO, which is the MFD. You want to change it to Save as PDF and hit Save. Now, this was the overall for our What Have I Learned assignment. So what we want to do is you can use your arrows, scroll, whatever you need to get to the beginning of that name. You want to put your last name, Leonard, and you want to put overall in front of that name. So now we know that when we get that file, it's Leonard's overall rubric statistics. Now, again, you can hit save. It'll now go to this folder. You now want to go to the criteria statistics. This is the one that's a little bit more complicated only because we have a lot of criteria this time around because we added those to the rubric. They won't print properly if we just do it as a straight screenshot. Let me show you what I mean. If I hit print, you'll see that when it goes between the pages, it cuts off in the middle. So we lose some of the criteria information. Because of that, what we need for you to do is on the criteria statistics for all of the assignments. What you need to do is just take your cursor right here in front of criteria and just drag it. Drag it to the bottom, highlighting everything. And then go ahead and hit the 3 buttons and print. You'll notice now it shows everything. Even though it goes to the next page, it doesn't cut off any of that statistical information. So we now know that that's the criteria score. We hit save, and the same thing. Scroll to the beginning of the name, type Leonard criteria, and we'll be able to identify the assignment and everything. You hit save. So what you're going to do is you're going to do that for each one of the assignments. So I'll hit close here and close. It should take us back to the rubric screen. So you're going to do that for all 7 assignments. So diversity, DSC resources, personal strengths, program and career, progress check, technology skills, and what have I learned. When you have all of those saved, both your overall and criteria statistics and your grades, that will end up being 15 files. So what you then want to do is you want to email me and say fall 2019 data, and you want to say please see all attached 15 files. And you can put all 15 files right here on this one email. That way I'm not following through, trying to chase anything down, but that's the easiest way for you to do it. So just send that email to me and I'll have all of your data. The only other thing that I do want to mention to you is that this process is going to be transitioning over to Ted Sofianos as of the spring semester, because as assistant chair, he's going to be doing this task from now on. So I'm helping him transition into that. So for this round, please send everything to me, but in the future, you will be sending that to him, but we'll remind you of that. Please make sure that you get this data to us no later than the start of the spring A semester. So again, we start classes on January 21st. If you could get this to us by the spring planning period, that would be great, because then we can go ahead and start compiling the data. If you have any questions, this video will be put in the SLS instructor site, and I will be available for assistance doing this in my open labs that I do during spring planning period. I will not be on campus, however, until January 13th. You may or may not be aware that I switched to 9-month, so I won't be here right away in January. Have a great holiday break, and I'll see you next year.